Hi everyone and welcome in the last part of this video focus on Blender. This time we're gonna take a look at how we can create animation in Blender. If you haven't seen the last two videos, I really recommend you to go and watch it. I will put the link in the description, and you can also find in the description the link of my new Udemy course focus on how to program to the game with Godot 4. So let's get started. For creating the animation, what we need to do is we need to change our interface first. So for that, right now we are in layout and we need to go to animation right here. When you are on animation, you can see here we have a preview, here we have our actual model, and here we have something that is called the top sheet. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to enable the screencast key, and I'm going to go to view, I'm going to change that to 45 and then put it to 50, and I'm just going to go back to my screencast key and I'm going to move it around here. That will be enough. So now you can see which key I am clicking on right there. So first I'm going to zoom by just scrolling up my mouse wheel, then I click on my mouse wheel to rotate, and then first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the texture, because right now we have gray, and this is very boring. So for changing the texture, you need to be here in pose mode obviously, and here you need to come to that arrow right there, and we change from material to texture. It brings up our colors, and then here also what we want to do is shadow, we're going to activate it, cavity, we're going to activate it, screen, we're going to change that to both, and then the ridge, we're going to increase it. So I'm going to put it to the max. Actually, I'm going to get out of it, I'm going to just increase it to the max, to the max, to the max, and to the max, and so it gives a sort of shiny effect, and the edge is a little bit shiny like that. Okay, so now we have done that, we can do actually the same for the view here. So I can come here, texture, and do shadow, cavity, both. The ridge, I can increase it, and we are good to go for that. And I can just move that down and move that up a little bit too, so like this. And so now we have our preview. So now we're going to create the animation. So for that, we need to change the top sheet to action editor by just clicking on top sheet and changing to action editor. And then here, we're going to create a new action. So we're going to click here on the new, and that action, we're going to call it T-pose. But before the T, we're going to put a 0. This is an important step, because basically what that 0 is doing is that when we're going to export that player into a game engine like Unity or Godot, it's going to be that pose per default that will be shown into your game engine. And this is a very handy things to do, because sometimes if you don't do that, you can have your animation that goes into another animation per default, and it can be tricky to get out of it. It's doable, obviously, but it's quite tricky, so it's better to prefix it with 0. So now I can just click enter, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on my bones here, and I'm going to click on A, and then here I'm going to press the right click, insert keyframe, and here I'm going to insert location and rotation. And what this does is it copies all the rotation and the location of all the bones that we have here. And remember, as in the previous video, we have mapped the bones to our model, and so now we can move our model as much as we want. And basically, also because we have created the inverse kinematic in the previous video, our character will not go through the ground, it will stay where it is. So that's a very good thing to just remember. So now we have done that, we can just click here on fake user, and this is going to basically protect our data. It's going to log that, and so we're not going to be able to, if we are doing a mistake, erasing that animation, normally it should keep a copy of it that we can just rework. So that's a very good thing to know. So now we can click on that button here, it's called new action, and we can create a new action. And so that action here, I'm going to call it idle. And that's where we're going to start to create our animation. So I'm going to click on that bone right there, and I'm going to do R, and I'm going to just rotate that bone down. I'm going to click on that one too, and I'm going to just rotate that bone down as well, like this, like that. But here I have made a mistake, so I'm going to just show you. I'm doing that on purpose just to show you what happens if you're making a mistake. So I'm just going to click on my bone, click on A, and I'm going to do Alt R, Alt G. So like this, it's gonna reset all my rotation and all the grabbing I've made. And now what we need to do is like we need to do two things. We need to enable fake user here because we haven't. And here we need to also toggle that button here. That is the auto keying button. And basically by clicking that button, what we're gonna do is we're gonna record in real time all the change that we are making right there. So for example, if I pick that bone and I'm doing rotate, you can see that now it's gonna be like saving the rotation of that bones. So I can put something like this, can make sure that everything is all right. This one was not all right, so I'm gonna do something like this, rotate, voila. Make sure that you can rotate in the direction in which you want to rotate the bones, because if you are rotating the bones right here, it will rotate to the side. But if you are rotating that bones on that view like this, it will rotate up and down. So that's something that you need to know. That's important. So here I'm gonna rotate this one a bit like that. Voila. And so now, because I have auto keying, I can continue to make other like change. So for example, that node here, I can do G, Z, and I can move it a little bit down. And remember, because we have put the inverse kinematic in the last video, it doesn't go through the floor like you can see. So that's a very good thing. So I'm just gonna Control Z, I'm gonna do G, Z, and I'm just gonna move it down a little bit like this. Then I'm gonna grab that bone right there. I'm gonna do RZ to rotate it on the side a little bit. I need to make sure that the rotation is right. So here it's not. So I'm gonna do R, I think it's X. No, it's not this one, it's RY. Voila, just a little bit like that. Voila, to make sure that the feet is on the ground. This one we're going to do RZ to rotate it on the side, and then we're going to do RY to rotate it and put it facing the ground like this, flat to the ground like that. Okay, so that's what we have now. But if we click on play, it's not going to do anything because we don't have other keyframe set up yet. So what we need to do is we need to go here to 20 like this. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue to create our keyframe, and we're gonna create another one. So first, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna select the root bone. I'm gonna do GZ to move it up a little bit, like where it was at first, like this. I think it was here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move a little bit the shoulder. So I'm gonna do R, and I'm gonna move a little bit up like this. R, I'm gonna move a little bit up like this. And here I'm gonna do R, and I'm gonna rotate a little bit inward like this. I think that's the right word for that. Inward like this. So now that I have made that animation, what I can do is I can go back to the first one right here. So it's like on 1, and I can just click A, and it's gonna select everything like this. And then what I can do, you can just scroll down and you can see that it has like selected everything. And then what I can do is I can do Shift D, and then it's gonna just create our animation like that. Here I'm putting it on 40. So now I'm gonna just go out of this, and so you can see that now our animation is played. So like, let's see, I'm just gonna play this one. Voila. And you can see that it stopped now. And this is normal because basically the timeline that we have here is set up to end at 250. But our animation is stopping at 40 or 40. Let's see. I'm just gonna scroll here. It's a bit too far. So I need to put it here at 40. And so what we want to do is we want to make it loop. So for that, what we need to do here is we need to, basically we're starting at 1, this is good, but then here we need to end it up to not 40, because 40, remember that because we have duplicated, the 40th frame is the same as the first one that we have here, so it's going to have a little twitch. If we put it at 40, we need to put it one frame before, so it's going to be 39. And then now it's going to loop nicely, so let's have a look. You can see that now the animation is played nicely, and you can see here in the preview that everything works fine. And this is our first animation, which is great. And so now we can continue and we can create another one. So now here we're gonna make the walk animation. For making the walk animation, we need to move the legs first. I'm not gonna do straight the legs and the arm. I'm first gonna use the legs. I'm gonna move the legs. So for moving the legs, I need first to click on 3. So like this, I am on side view. And then what I need to do here is like, here I'm gonna click new action, and I'm gonna rename that new action run. And now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to click A, it's going to select everything here, and I'm just going to select all of this like that, and I'm going to click on X and delete keyframe. And then here on the one, the first frame here, one, I'm gonna so click A, toggle all my stuff, all the bones here, and I'm gonna do Alt R, Alt G. So like this, I am resetting everything here. Make sure that you have the auto keying enabled here, and make sure as well that the fake user is toggled right here. So now basically a walk animation work in a different set of keyframe. We need to have a contact, we need to be in the air, and then we need to have another contact. And so what we're gonna do here is first we're gonna just select that bone here. I'm gonna do G, Z, and I'm gonna move it up a little bit like this. Then I'm gonna grab that bone, or maybe that bone right there. And what I want to do is I'm gonna go back to the front, the side view, and I'm gonna move that bone back a little bit. So I'm gonna do G, Y. I'm gonna move it like this. And make sure you are in that view, because if you are not in that view, you're gonna have some weird rotation here. So you need to go there, like this, and then I'm gonna just do a rotation. So I'm gonna do R, it's gonna be X, I think, this way. I think it's like that. So let's see, how does it do? So I need to just come here. Okay, so that's good. So now I can just go back to side view, grab that bones here. Let's see, up, so like that. Okay, so I'm gonna put that bone like that, just to make sure that we have the contact fit that is set up nicely. I'm gonna grab the bone that is at the back, this one right there, and I'm gonna go back to front view, and I'm gonna do G, Y, and I'm gonna move this one a little bit up like this, and then I'm gonna do G, Z, and I'm gonna move it up a little bit like this. I need to make sure that the rotation is nice, it's okay. And here there's one constraint that we're gonna have, but this is part of the style of our character. He has very short legs, so we're not gonna be able to make like a walk animation that is a normal one. We're gonna make a one that's gonna be a little bit more like cartoon-like walk animation, but that's part of that design of character here. That's normal. So this part looks about right to me. Maybe I can incline this one a little bit more. So I'm going to do R, and then I'm going to move this one a little bit more down like this. I'm going to move here, make sure you are in front view. I'm going to click on the head bone, rotate a little bit at the back like that. And as I say, for now, I'm not touching the arms, because that I focus first on the legs. So this looks all right. So now basically what I need to do, go back to front view. I'm gonna just select here like this. If you click double A on the dub sheet, it's gonna unselect, and if you click A, it's gonna select everything. I'm gonna do Control C, and what I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna use a simple way to make the walk animation working. I'm gonna do 1, 3, 5, 8, 12. That's the moment I'm gonna put the keyframe. If you are new into animation, this is basically keyframing that's gonna help to make the transitioning of the animation work nicely. So here on 3, I'm gonna do Control V, and it's gonna pass those animation here. And so now what I can do is like I can continue to make that animation working. I'm still in front view, so I click 3 on my numpad, and you can see that here I am on X. If you don't have access to the numpad, you can click on X and that will work. Then you do G, Y to move the feet back like this. I'm gonna do R, X to rotate it vertically like this. I'm gonna move this one a little bit more up like that, and I'm gonna move this one down a little bit, and then I'm gonna take this one here. I'm gonna do G, Y to move it at the front like this, and then I'm gonna do G, Z to put it up like that. You can see that the rotation was weird, that's normal. So here I come there, that's good. And so now it looks about right, so I can come back to 3, and then I can click double A here to unselect. Then I can just select that portion here, and I can do Control C, and then I can go to 5 right there, and I can pass. And then here, what I can do is like I can completely like move that bones up, so it lose contact with the floor like this. And so this bone here, I can just, I think I'm gonna move it forward again like this, and I'm gonna move it up a little bit like this. And this one here, I'm gonna move it up like that, but maybe it's already too much. Yeah, it's already too much. So I'm gonna do G, Y like this, but you can see at night has really bent the knee weirdly. So I'm gonna get that first, and maybe it's gonna work. No, it's not gonna work. So here we're gonna be a little bit limited with that that bone here up. I'm gonna just move the bone of the knees right there, and let's see if it makes any difference. So I'm gonna come here. Have I moved the right bone? No, I haven't moved the right bone, so I need to come back here. That's that bone here that I need to move. G, Z like this, and then G, Y like this, and this one I need to move it down a bit here, and G, Z, voila. So here I need to continue to move that one up a bit like that, and maybe I can put it a little bit, maybe I can bend a bit the bones. I'm not sure. I can rotate the bone a bit. No, I can't. So this is where the limit gonna be. So I'm gonna grab this one, voila. And so now I'm gonna copy that. So I'm gonna go here, double A, and I'm gonna select this one. I'm gonna do Control C. I'm gonna go to 8, and here's gonna be the contact one. So I'm gonna do Control V to pass, and then I'm gonna take that bone here, and I'm gonna take that bone first here, G, Z, to put that down. This one I'm gonna do G, Z to put it down where it needs to be, like that. I'm gonna rotate on the x-axis to make sure that's the backbone of the knees that is like touching the ground. And then this one here, I'm gonna do G, Y, and I'm gonna move this one like this. I'm going to move it a little bit up like that, but you can see here we have like a sort of like funny torsion here. Like I'd say, is because he has very short legs, so that's normal that we have that type of behavior here. And so now here, what is good is that we're going to be able to mirror all of this. So for doing that, what we need to do is we need to select all the bone here. We can select everything here like that, and then we can do Control, I think it's Control Shift V, if I remember well. Let me check my note. Yes. So now I'm going to do Control Shift. I need to do Control C, and then here I need to go to 12 keyframe, and I need to do Control Shift V, and now it passed all the animation. So let's have a look. It worked. Voila, so that's good. And so now what we need to do is we need to just have the animation, this one, the first animation, we need to just put it at the end, and because it has like free frame that is out, I need to do Control C, and then I need to put it where one is 1, 2, up. I think 23 will be enough. So here I can do Control V, and it will pass everything. So let's have a look now. Let's see. Okay, so that's good. And you can see that after that it stopped. And this is normal because basically we haven't set up something that is extremely important to use in Blender when you are making animation. First, we need to select everything by clicking A. So we need to select everything here like this, and we need to do something that is called make cyclic. First, I'm going to show you what is the point of that. So I'm going to go here on view, and I'm going to go to the toggle graph editor, and here I'm going to put it a little bit bigger like this, and you can see that here we have the sort of like wavy curve like this, and then after that it goes super flat. And this is normal because basically we haven't made the cyclic aspect of the animation work. So for making it work, we need to select everything, and then we need to do Shift E, and we need to click here on make cyclic, and after that it makes everything works well. So here I just need to select all of this like that, and I need to do Shift E, make cyclic, and you can see that now the wave are set up. And now if I go back to my my toggle editor, if I go back to the editor here, I need to the dub sheet, I need to go back to the dub sheet right here. If I select the bones, now you can see that if I play the animation, I'm just going to toggle that down a little bit. If I play the animation, it continues to work. But we have a little bit of a jitter here. That's normal. It's because the animation is set to the previous one, what was the idle animation, that was way slower. And so here what we need to do is we just need to put that animation, not 23, because 23 is the last frame. We need to put it at 22. And so now, if I go back here, you can see that the animation is playing nicely, and we have the beginning of a little walk animation. Here we have some little artifact with the little pocket here, probably because they haven't been moved too much, because the chest is moving. So that's the problem of like making little details like this. But for now, I'm gonna just like ignore that because it's not that important at the moment. What we need to do now is we need to make the animation of the arm. So for the arms now, what we can do is like we can select one arm, and what we can do here, I'm going to select that arm and I'm going to put myself in front view, and I'm going to just rotate it down. Remember that the angle that you're using when you are rotating an object in Blender gonna affect the rotation and the direction of the rotation. So that's why I'm putting myself in front view. And then what I can do here is I can do Control C, and then I can do for that arm, I can select that arm and I can do Control Shift V, and it will also copy mirror that position. And so the arm, the good thing is that for the arm we don't need to be super picky, and so what we can do here is like we can just rotate those arms. And so the one principle that is very important in animation is that when the legs go backward, the arms on the same side of the legs go forward. Like so here, that legs go slightly backward. So here we need on the first frame, one here, we need to click on that bone and rotate Y a little bit forward. No, rotate, no, I've selected the bad bone. Well, this one here, rotate, and we need to put it a little bit backward, forward like this. And for the other side, I need to come here and I need to put myself nicely like that. I click just on that to be on -X. And for that bone, because that leg is going forward, we need to put the bones of the arm here a little bit backward like that. So now we have done that, I can go back to 3, for example, and I can just go back to the first frame and I can select the bones that I've changed the rotation. And so now that I've made that animation and I have selected those one, I can go to the third frame and I can continue to move that bones to the back. So I need to go back to the other one, so it's -X that I need to come here. So this one here, I need to select that bone here, rotate and put it around here. Then I can go to 5 and I can rotate it even more backward like this, and then I can go back to the third one. I can rotate here. This one I can just put myself in front mode, the rotation, I'm gonna rotate that one around here, and then I can just go back to the side view and I can rotate on the y-axis a bit more, and I can come here and I can just copy the rotation here. I can Control C, I can come here to that frame and I can, with my mouse hovering here, I can do Control V like this, and then I can just go back to front view and I can just select this one and move it even more like this, like so. And so here for that frame, that bone here, I'm gonna just do Control V, so this is gonna put it in the right direction, and then I'm just gonna start to rotate this one down a little bit like that, and then I'm gonna come here, and this one I'm gonna also just make sure that I'm really fully in front inside view. I'm gonna rotate this one a little bit more back like that, and so then I can just select this one, select that one here, and select that one here. I'm gonna do Control C, and then I'm gonna come here to the 12th frame, and I'm gonna do Control Shift V. It doesn't work. Maybe it's here, Control Shift V. Voila. I was passing in the wrong stuff. I was passing here when I need to pass in the dub sheet. So now it has made my animation work nicely. And so now you can see that we have like the arms that are bending nicely and stuff. And so one thing that we need to not automatically forget is that one here. For the 23rd frame, we just need to copy that here. We need to do Control C, come here, and we need to do Control V. And so like this, we are making sure that it goes back to the right frame. And so now we have a little walk animation that is a bit stiff. We can make some tweak, and we can, for example, on that frame, I can move that bone, I can rotate it a little bit down like this, for example. Nope, that's not what I was looking to do. Nope, voila. I can go back to that view like this. I can do R, and I can rotate a bit like this. Then I can go to the other side view, and this one I can also rotate a little bit like this. Then I can come here. This one I can rotate it a little bit like this, and this one here I can rotate it a little bit like that. Then on the 8th one, I can make a little change. So maybe I can move this one here, and I can rotate it like that. This one, I can rotate it a little bit like that, but it's gonna rotate it weird. So I'm just gonna go back to side view, rotate like that, and then go back to this one, click here, rotate, no, not this one, that one here. I know it's a bit confusing. That's something you just have to, you're getting used to it at some point, but yes. And so this one, I can bend it. So I'm gonna put myself in the side view, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna bend this one like this, and then I'm gonna go back to the other one here. No, not this one, voila. And I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna rotate like that. So let's see the difference that's made. It's already a little bit better. And so now what we can do is we can also change some other stuff. So for example, we can change here the rotation of the spine. So I can, for example, so here 1, 3, 5. So here, for example, on this one, I can put the rotation a bit more forward like this. I can select that bone here, and I can move it like this a bit. This one I can move it a little bit like this, for example, and then I can come back here. I can come back to, which one is it, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. This one here, I can change the rotation here. I can also do something like this. I can select that bone, something like, no, something like this, something like this. So let's see now how it looks. It looks quite alright, but we can still continue to make some tweak. So for example, here I can move maybe the rotation of the head a little bit on the side like this, and then here on this one I can maybe on this one here I can rotate the head on the other side. So let's see if it makes a difference. You can see at night it makes a little bit of a difference, but this one I don't like it that much, so I'm gonna just leave it like this. So let's see. Voila. I'm just gonna keep the first 8 movement like this. And so now we have a walk animation basically, which is a bit stiff because like remember that our legs are a bit short, so that's normal that we don't have that much rotation here because it deforms too much. But that's the basic of how you can make animation using Blender. And so we have made in 3 videos. We have made, we have modeled a character, we have rigged it, and we have animated in 2 different animation. So that's great. Now you have learned all the basic for making like a little character in Blender. So that's cool. Congrats to you if you have been able to come here until that point. And now just sky is the limit. You can make a jump animation, you can make a swirl animation using the same logic. I'm probably gonna make video about this too in the future, so just subscribe if you like it. And me, I want to thank you for watching this series. So that's it for this video. I hope it has been useful for you, and I hope also that you like this new format on creating models with Blender, because that's something I do a lot at the moment and I really enjoy it. So like if you want to see more of this, but just like tell me in the comment, that will be very appreciated. Me, I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.